What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we will be predicting the upcoming card of UFC Perth, Della Maddalena versus Prates, and we got a good card, guys. It's one of the best cards of the year, no, but overall, I would rate it a good 7.5 out of 10, close to an 8. This is a very good card. I'm excited to predict some of these fights. Obviously, the main event is going to be a violent main event. I'll explain why I got one of that fight. When we get there, without any further ado, let's get into the video. First we got up is Cody Steele versus Dom Marfan. To start off the card, we got a very good, fun matchup here. Cody Steele the second fight in the UFC. He fought against Ragzoo, which was a very good fight. Obviously, lost the fight, didn't go his way, lost his O. But which was a very fun fight. Dom Marfan, I believe he's a good fighter. Look at him. He had a very good fight against Sang Yu Kim. I actually watched it live at UFC 325. Obviously, it's his debut. Technically, I don't count it a debut because he fought on the UFC card, but it was like a road to the UFC event. But instead, it was just in the same card as UFC 325. I still consider that that was not his debut. I consider that his debut. But like for his real debut and not road to the UFC, a very fun fight. Cody Steele is a very entertaining fighter. He had some very decent wins outside the UFC. Very good knockout power. Even that good body shot against Chasin Blauer back at the Contender Series. Dom Marfan's had a very impressive run, beating Tim Rogers, Tom Pratt, beating Yurgi, beating Jay, beating Sang Yu Kim. But to be fair, I am kind of surprised Dom Marfan is a underdog for the fight, which is very wild because, like, even though I feel like people are kind of skipping him out a little bit because of his fight with Sang Yu Kim, which could have gone either way. I remember some of you guys, some of my friends that I had thought Kim won the fight. I thought Fon won the fight, so I get it. I even thought Cody Steele kind of beat Rangzhou a little bit. It was a very close could have think he could have pulled the win. Either way, this is a good fight. This could be possibly a fight of the night. It was crazy that this is the first fight of the night. Imagine this the start of the card, a very good fight, which could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Steele wins one or Dom Marfan. But give me Dom Marfan to win the decision here, guys. I think he's a little more explosive with the striking, a little more technical than Cody Steele. Cody Steele is very aggressive. I believe that Dom Marfan can possibly move out the way and survive those heavy shots that Cody Steele has. Cody Steele, I feel like I said, looking at his debut fight against Ragzhou, he was coming off like hello knockouts outside the UFC. So that's probably what made him lose the fight, was probably that he had so many knockouts and he probably kind of got a little tired because he got a little tired. So when you get a little tired in a fight like that, majority of the time, and let's say like you have if you don't have a decision win for quite a while, you're most possibly going to lose if you head to the distance just because you'll get a little more tired than the other person. But if Dom Marfan cannot handle the heavy shots that Cody Steele has, Cody Steele may knock him out, guys. Dom Marfan has never been knocked out in his entire career. Obviously, he's been submitted twice by Salkilld outside the UFC, though. Outside the UFC, I still believe that could happen because there were a few times where he was close, where I thought Kim was kind of close on almost stopping Dom Marfan in that fight. So if Sang Yu Kim can do that, so can Cody Steele. But I think Dom Marfan wins this one by a majority decision. Next up we go up is Jonathan Micallef versus Gorimbo. Starting next up on the card is very decent. Gorimbo has not been looking very impressive out of his last 4 fights. The last time he looked very impressive was against Pete Rodriguez. Mind you guys, to be fair, it was very impressive, but Pete Rodriguez is not that good of a fighter. If I'm not mistaken, he fought Jack Della. But like I said, Pete Rodriguez is not that good of a fighter. But it was very impressive after that. Beat Razin by a decision. Very surprising. Beat Nico Price. Decision. Surprising again. Lost to Vicente Luque, which, to be fair, took that fight on a short notice, so we can't be too upset about that. Then he lost to Jeremiah Wells, which was very awkward. See, these two, this win against Jeremiah Wells and him beating Nico Price by going the distance is very wild. To be fair, it's very wild. I thought he was gonna knock him out. And look at this. Nikila, who fought Nico Price before Nico Price fought Michael Chiesa, knocked him out in the first round. How can he do that? And I think Thumbo's a better fighter than Nikila. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So look, before he fought Michael Chiesa, got knocked out by Nikila, and I think Thumbo's a way better fighter than him. And he got knocked, and Thumbo went the whole distance with him. Very surprising. This is what I don't get. This is what I don't get about Thumbo. Thumbo, he got that one good win. Next one, the people are thinking go knock out the other opponent. He doesn't knock him out. Makes no sense. This is what I don't like about Thumbo. And Micallef, his last win over Elliott he looked very good in that fight. But here's what the problem is about Micallef. Think about this. Thumbo is the same height length as Jonathan Micallef. So, and Jonathan Micallef is very good with the striking when he's at his distance. So, this one makes this fight very interesting. But I think Micallef should get the win here by a decision. I do believe Thumbo may survive, but Micallef may submit him too. But because even though some of you guys may think that Micallef may submit him just because he submit Elliott and Thumbo got submitted by Vicente Luque, but Vicente Luque is a submission artist. He's not prioritized as a very good submission artist. You know, that was a very good submission win over Elliott, of course. It's not what I'm saying. But, like, I don't think there's no possible way he submitted Thumbo like that, bro. Vicente Luque can do that because that's Vicente Luque. Micallef is just very different, though. But also, I feel like the age is going to, like, Jonathan Micallef's youth is what's going to help him also in this fight against Thumbo. But Thumbo, he could trouble him if Micallef can't land those shots that he wants to land. Thumbo will take over this fight no matter what. Because sometimes when he faces people who are very good strikers, and sometimes when they can't throw the shots that they want to land, that's where Thumbo shines, though. And that's what Thumbo needs to do if he wants to beat Jonathan Micallef. So now, like I said, I'm going with Jonathan Micallef to win this one. But if Thumbo can, like I said, can keep him off and he can't use the striking base that Micallef wants to, Thumbo will take over and demolish him, and it will be a bad night for Micallef. Next up, we got is Wes Schultz versus Ben Johnston. Give me Ben Johnston to knock him out in the first round. Very quick, I know, but like, look at his debut against my opinions, bro. That was a horrible performance. Like, he didn't do that good at all. And very surprised. I expected him. I didn't expect him to win the fight, obviously. But, like, for that to happen, it's kind of wild. He got dropped, like, 4 times in one round. Not a lot of people get dropped, like, 4 times in one round. And that showed how bad his chin is. And he also got knocked out by Mansoor. Who Mansoor is a good fighter, but he's not necessarily prioritized as a knockout artist. Go ask Yoshi that. Yoshi finished him, and Mansoor's striking looked kind of off a little bit in that fight. As for Ben, he went in and lost to Caleb route out, submitted Kane Sandy, Emily Juris, Yoon Seosin, and John Martin Fraser. The thing I don't like about Ben Johnston, look at this. This dude's very inactive, bro. One of the most inactive fighters outside the UFC. And that's where I had the problem with this fight. He's very, like I said, very inactive. And I feel like his inactiveness is what it may help Wes Schultz in this fight. Because Wes Schultz, he's pretty active, guys. Pretty active. But another way is for Wes Schultz to win this fight, guys. He needs to keep his distance. And once he sees Ben Johnston trying to close the distance, shoot for the takedown. The one thing I will say he should not do in this fight is try not to get on your back, because once Ben Johnston gets your back, bro, you're getting submitted with that rear naked choke. This guy's a nasty rear naked choke. Look at his wins over here. Look, rear naked choke. Obviously knocked out Seosin, and he knocked out John Martin Fraser. Or no, submitted John Martin Fraser. Had some very good submission wins, guys, and Wes Schultz, if he gets submitted here in this fight, guys, he's getting kicked out of the UFC, because, like, let's just say Wes Schultz got knocked down the first round by my opinions, and he gets submitted or knocked out by Ben Johnston. They're gonna kick him out, because, dude, it'll just be horrible for him. As for Ben Johnston, I like this fight for him, but as of him coming into UFC, I will say this: he needs to be a little more active, because if he wants to fight and be a world champion in the UFC, he has to be more active. And mind you, this guy's 35 years old and only 5-1, only 6 MMA bouts. Is going to be 36 soon. He's already getting into the UFC. That's how old. That was literally how close Yoel Romero was when he got into the UFC. And what's funny is that these guys are in the same division, because Yoel Romero fought at 185. Look, the last time dude fought was in 2024. Didn't even have no fights booked after that. I don't know if there was any talks for fights, but like, he's never had not one cancellation, bro. He's just very inactive for whatever reason. Look, his debut fought in 2010. Like, yo. Like, what type of bull crap are we dealing with here, people? This dude better not do that in the UFC, because he's almost, like, 5 years from now, he's going to be 40 years old, which is very wild for a dude who's only 5-1. But like I said, give me Ben Johnston to knock out West Skulls very bad in this fight. Kobe Thicknesse versus Vince Morales. What the hell? I would want to say, what the hell is this matchup right here, guys? Vince Morales shouldn't even be in the UFC no more, guys. Give me Kobe to demolish this guy by a decision, 30-26. Yes, I said it. He's going to mop the floor with Vince Morales. He's going to control the striking maze, going to outmaster him in this fight. There's not too much to say about this. I'm not even going to recap on their last few fights, guys. Because how the hell you lose to Taylor Lumpless, guys? How does that make sense? Taylor Lumpless not even in the UFC no more. Vince Morales, I just don't think he's UFC material. Yo, for these 13% of you people who think that Vince Morales will beat Kobe Thicknesse, bro. Oh, pause. But those who think that he's going to be Kobe, you got to be hooked on crack. You got to be, bro. There's no way you think Vince Morales has a chance on winning this fight, guys. This is one of the most obvious fights on the card, guys. And 13% of you think that he's going to win. Matter of fact, West Skulls has a better, in my opinion, has a way better chance of beating Ben Johnston than what Vince Morales does of beating Kobe. It's just facts, guys. Like, Vince Morales, even though he's losing his last 2 fights were against killers, Elijah Smith and Raul Rosas Jr., he's just not that good of a fighter, bro. I feel like there's nothing really good about Vince Morales. I don't like Vince Morales at all. He's probably going to get kicked out of the UFC. Hopefully he does good outside the UFC. I'm just surprised that the UFC even let this man back in. Like, I just can't believe it. Kobe will demolish him in this fight. I'm not going to explain way too much about this fight. You guys will just have to trust me about this one. Next up, we got Jacob Mallet versus Jarrell Meerschaert. Now, I actually like this matchup, guys. You got two very good wrestlers. Obviously, one's old, one's still young. Old versus, it's like basically like a wrestling match. We've got old versus young wrestler. That's what makes the fight very interesting. Jarrell's last win that he had was against Emmett Shabazi. But to be fair, that was a very impressive win. Then he lost to RDR. RDR, that was his debut in the UFC. And Jarrell actually looked pretty good in that fight before he got submitted. And then he lost to Brad Jarvis. Got knocked out by Michelle Olchechik. And then got submitted by Kalidakis. This is where it's kind of strange, guys. Because what the hell? 50 seconds, you get knocked out by a guy like Kyler Dakis, bro. Kyler Dakis is not that good of a UFC fighter. Striking's okay. Obviously, he did knock out Michelle Pereira, but that was a grounded pound as well. But his striking's decent, and I just thought Jarrell was the better fighter in this overall. And he just got freaking submitted in 50 seconds. 50 seconds, in my opinion. Yeah, so losing to Kalidakis, in my opinion, is kind of foul. But looking at Jacob's wins, he has some decent wins, decent losses. Lost to Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen, you know, he's a top 5 middleweight in the world right now. Beat Nick Maximov. Nick Maximov, a decent fighter. Lost to Cody Brundage, but to be fair, he did that on purpose. I feel like, I'm not saying he did that on purpose, but hey, hit him in the back of the head. That's his fault. Should have never done that. Beat Andre Pirostri over 2 years ago, then beat Tori Finese. I know this is the biggest win. Tori Finese, man, I thought Tori Finese was going to outmaster him in this fight. Especially not mistaken, I heard he was training with DC for that fight, so that's when I truly was very confident that Toivasa was going to be Jacob Malkoun, but apparently not. I'm gonna be honest. Give me Jacob to win this one by a decision, guys. Jacob is still in his prime. Do I see him becoming a world champion one day? Not necessarily, because even in this fight with Toivasa, there were a few times where he couldn't land the strikes. Toivasa's strike, which is very good, but what made him win the fight was his wrestling, and I feel like that's how he managed to win the fight. But like I said, I just don't see Jacob win. I think if this stays on the feet, guys, maybe Jacob may lose, but if this stays on the ground, Jacob probably wins this one. But even though it's tough to say, because I can still see Gerald winning this fight, guys. Obviously, it's a Jacob Malkoun is a huge favorite to win this fight, guys. But that doesn't necessarily mean Gerald could still win this fight. Gerald could surprise us here. It's like Ronnie Barcelos when he fought Payne Talbot. Not a lot of people thought Ronnie Barcelos was going to beat Payne Talbot, but he beat Payne Talbot. Gerald can still beat Jacob Malkoun. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I just don't see him winning this one because of the age of him and looking at his 4 losses that he most recently had. But if he can find an early finish and submit Gerald's, Jacob Malkoun, then I feel like that's the only way of winning it here. Other than that, I don't see him winning this fight at all. Next up, we got is Justin Tafa versus Kevin Christian. That's what I think of Justin Tafa. I think of Justin Tafa. Because, look at what is this run, bro? What is this? Losing to Marcus Rego de Lemo, losing to Vulture Walker, but to be fair, Vulture Walker has a very good heel hook. Beat Sean Sharoff, who's not even that good of a fighter. I wouldn't even say that was his biggest win at all. Turko Tokas and Billy Elaconda. How is this man still in the UFC? I thought he was going to get kicked out of the UFC after losing to Billy Elaconda. But this man still finds a way to be in the UFC. Give me Kevin Christian. Kevin Christian to freaking demolish this guy. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not, you guys think I'm crazy, but give me Kevin Christian, knock him out in the first round. Kevin Christian has some good striking. Also does have some good submission game. But, he's going to, matter of fact, he's going to submit him in the first round. So he's going to submit Justin Tafa in the first round. Justin Tafa will not win this fight whatsoever. I do not see the possibility. There's no way he's winning this fight. His striking is pretty decent. His lack of cardio is just, I don't even know how to explain it, guys. His cardio is just terrible. Wrestling's terrible. Even if I'm mistaken, he has a brother Justin Tafa. I call him Justin Tafa, but his reality name is Junior Tafa. The Tafa brothers are not really that good. If I'm not mistaken, that is his brother. If I'm not mistaken, but they are. If I'm not mistaken, they are related. But give me Kevin Christian to demolish this dude, guys. He's going to demolish him. Next up we got Cam Rowston versus Robert Bryczek. After making up for this fight that they built and making this fight, oh yeah, this is a banger of a fight. I don't care what any of you guys say. I am watching this fight. Stay tuned for this fight because this may be one of the best fights of the night, besides the main event, obviously. Bryczek, man, look at his run outside the UFC. He has some very good striking, very good knockouts. Then his debut obviously didn't go so well. He beat Brad Jarvis. You're looking at Cam Rowston. Let's actually take a look at his resume. Look, have some very decent wins. Obviously his debut didn't go so well. His contender series fight didn't really go so well. Got into the UFC. He looked very impressive in his last 2 fights. But as you can tell here, Cam Rowston, when it comes to him with striking, it's very bad. When it comes to when he faces a good striker, even times there was a few times where Cody Brundage had him a few times. Robert Bryczek has some underrated striking, in my opinion. No, not underrated. He's fairly rated striker, in my opinion. Very rated, and I think his striking is what's going to help him win this fight by a decision against Cam Rowston. Cam Rowston obviously has some good grappling. Decent wins, obviously, against Andre Parashri and Cody Brundage. Mind you, these guys were both on losing streaks. So he's facing a guy who's not on a losing streak. Obviously, he lost his debut, but they look very impressive with Brad Jarvis. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like I think Robert Bryczek's striking is what's going to help him win this fight, and I believe it's going to overwhelm Cam Rocks because even his debut, even his contender series fight against Tori Finney's, that didn't really go so well. That didn't really go so well for him. The striking base of Tori Finney's was working very well, and Cam Rocks just couldn't find his rhythm. And that's why I got Robert Bryczek winning this fight. You guys can tag me in the comments if Robert loses this fight, but I'm very confident Robert wins this fight. Oh, and the only way I see Cam Rocks winning this fight is if he keeps him on the ground for a very long time, and Bryczek can't get back up. Only way I kind of see him winning this fight here. Other than that, he may even knock out Cam Rocks for all we know. Next up, we got up his diabetic Taco Bam Bam, Tuivasa versus Luis Chinny Chin Chin Sutherland. And no, here's why I don't like this matchup, guys. Obviously, it's 50-50. I don't know who to pick for this one. These guys' fight IQ is okay. Obviously, I think Tuivasa's fighting IQ kind of got a little better in his fight with Tyson Torreira. Because, he went the whole distance with Tyson Torreira. Nobody expected him to survive the first round with him. I guarantee you, not nobody, bro. Obviously, there was probably a few people that thought Tuivasa was going to win. I thought people were crazy for thinking that. But hey, he nearly won. I thought it was a close fight. Could have gone either way. Even though it was a slot fest match, still could have gone either way. Sutherland's last two wins over Volter Walker and Brando Peričić. Yeah, it didn't really go so well for him. It really didn't. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pick Tuivasa to knock him out. I don't know if there's even a way for Sutherland to win this fight, guys. He's taking this fight on short notice. To be honest, man, I would have rather seen Tuivasa versus Sean Sharaf because I think Tuivasa and Sean Sharaf would have been going at it, bro. I was looking at Sharaf's last fight against Steve Asplin, which was a very good, entertaining fight. I thought that would have been a banger, but hey, Tuivasa against Luis Sutherland. If Tuivasa breaks his losing streak, bro, I would be surprised because I never thought he would. I thought he was going to get kicked out after losing to Tyson Torreira, but the UFC has to kick him out if he loses to Luis Sutherland. If they don't, hypothetically speaking, if he loses this fight against Luis Sutherland and still is in the UFC just wants a guy who's addicted to Taco Bell in the UFC. You might as well just start serving Taco Bell to every UFC fighter on the roster, bro. Might as well be if he loses his fight. Might as well be. But now, next up we got Shamil Gaziev versus Brando Peričić. Very good fight, very entertaining. But give me Peričić to knock this dude out in the first round. I said Luis Sutherland's chin chin chin, but this dude Shamil Gaziev is chinny chin chin chinnis, bro. Because how the heck you get? Because obviously Waldo Cortez Acosta's a top dude, but he took that fight on a 3 weeks notice. Matter of fact, he had an eye injury, which I guarantee he had to heal from for like 2 weeks. Had to come into fight weeks. So how the hell and mind you, knocked you out in the first round. And this dude has not fought no top tier. No, he's only lost to top tier dudes. Jairzinho was a top dude at one point. Surprised he got a main event. Well, that's one thing I can say. Gaziev did get a main event. But this dude has not got no top tier dude wins. No top tier dude wins. You cannot tell me this dude's not going to lose, bro. Near even is crazy. 28% of you people think Gaziev is going to win. I just want to say, why the hell? Whoever thinks that Gaziev's going to win, I want you to go in the comments. Give me 5 good reasons. 5 good reasons why the hell Gaziev would win this fight. Because there's no way. Peričić looked very good with Luis Sutherland. Before that, it looked very good against Alicia Eldis. Obviously, we're top tier dudes. I swear, if one of you guys say, oh, it's because of experience and with top dudes. What top dudes? These dudes that he lost to? Because last time I checked, Thomas Peterson's not a top tier dude. Dontel May is not a top tier dude. Martin Dubé is not a top tier dude. Neither of those guys are top tier dudes. This dude's got no top tier dudes, guys. I'm just glad they're putting Brando's name. They're putting Brando's name to respect, but like, Gaziev's not winning this fight, guys. And I know damn well all you guys know that Gaziev's not winning this fight, bro. All you guys know damn well he's not winning this fight, guys. But if he could possibly win this fight, which I don't think he will, good for him. But let's see how if he beats it. But let's just say if he was to beat him, I'm curious to see how his performance looks. If any of you guys say that he's gonna win, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to see this fight because I wonder why you guys think he's gonna win. And if he does win, I guarantee his performance won't be that good. I just guarantee that. I guarantee his performance will not look that as good as appealing. But that's what I got. Peričić by knockout. Next up we got we got a good fight right here. Tim Elliott versus Steve Astro Boy Erceg. Very interesting, very exciting, and most definitely looking forward into. Tim Elliott, looking at his last few wins, beat Tiger Ulukov, beat Victor Azararo, lost to Muhammad Micallef, beat Soroji, beat Kyle Sakura. These two ones right here, very impressive. I didn't think he was going to beat either of these fighters. So very surprising. Steve Erceg wins. He beat Matt Sherrill, which Matt Sherrill is just not even that good of a fighter. Lost to Alexandre Pantoja, lost to Kaikara France, lost to Brandon Moreno, beat Odie Osborne. Even if that fight with Odie Osborne was not really that impressive of a win. Glad he got the job done and he won the fight, obviously, but like not really that impressive of a win, bro. But as for Tim Elliott, his last win over Kyle Sakura, which I was very surprised he won, looked absolutely amazing. Just dominated Kyle Sakura, bro. But I did hear that Kyle Sakura had trouble making good weight. I've heard that because now he's moving up to 135. Obviously going to fight Cameron Smotherman for another video, though. Just looking at his last few performances, and looking at his last few performances, I think he's going to submit him in like a late round. I think he's going to submit him in the late round, guys. May sound very surprising, but obviously he went 5 rounds with the submission with the submission game in the flyweight division. Alexandre Pantoja, who was probably the second greatest flyweight in the world, and that was a very good fight. Steve Erceg could have possibly won that fight. I'm surprised he didn't get fighted the night. It should have been. I'm not saying that's one of the greatest flyweight fights of all time, but for him being ranked number 10 at the time, fighting for a world title, he was locked in, guys. That man was locked in. He was not trying to lose that fight, and he looked very good too. But I just think after that, I feel like that was his only good win, only good fight. He's like Steve Bryczek, because y'all know what I'm pretty sure y'all know what one hit wonders are. They're like rappers or like just musicians, like artists that have one good hit. Like this, but this is for like the UFC. If we were to have one hit wonders for the UFC, Steve Erceg would definitely be one of them. And the reason why I say that is because his only good fight was against Pantoja. Who else did he really beat? Like, let's take a look at his record. Like, come on, bro. Looking at his record, let's look at his record, bro. Let's take a look at his record right here. Who else did he really beat? Alexandre Costa, who's not that good. These are all decent wins. Only good fight was against Pantoja. Then after that, obviously, got knocked out by Kaikara France. Lost to Brandon Moreno, Odie Osborne. These are he fought. He only loses to top tier dudes, but he hasn't beaten no top tier dudes either. That's why I think Tim Elliott's one. So that's why. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Tim Elliott fought Demetrius Johnson. He fought Demetrius Johnson. I'm not mistaken. That was for a title fight. He fought for the world title against Demetrius Johnson. And I just think his experience and him being very fast and people don't know what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna win. And you guys may think I'm crazy for this, but Tim Elliott, as long as Joshua Van stays the world champion, like let's say if Joshua Van's the world champion, I think anybody could possibly capture that title against Joshua Van. No disrespect to Joshua Van, but Joshua Van's grappling is not necessarily the best. Let's see how he does next week against Tatsuro Tara. Obviously, this fight's not gonna be a title eliminator. If this is a title eliminator, this is some bullcrap. obviously, because there's fighters who deserve the title way more. I think Mino Kopp and Kyoji Horiguchi should be a title eliminator. But this fight's a title eliminator, which I guarantee it's not. But I wouldn't be surprised because UFC is on some bullcrap nowadays. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight will be a title eliminator. I wouldn't be. But I'm going with Tim Elliott, submission, 3rd round. Next up, we go move up to our co-main event. Beneil Dariush versus Quillan Salkilld. Give me Quillan Salkilld to knock him out in the 2nd round. Or even the first. No, matter of fact, 1st round, bro. 1st round knockout for Quillan Salkilld. Here's why. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Knocked out in 16 seconds by Beneil Dariush. By Bernard St. Denis. Yeah. How did that not? How do you not think he's gonna get knocked out in the 1st round? And don't get me wrong, BSD is a good fighter, but he's not really knocking people out in like 16 seconds. His chin's not all there. Then he did get knocked out by Arman Tsarukyan. Got knocked out by Charles Oliveira. Mind you, at one point when Beneil was in his prime, I want to say he was necessarily a beast, but he was this close. This close to a title shot. Then Charles Oliveira ruined that for him. Then Arman Tsarukyan knocked him out. He beat Moicano. Lost to BSD. So he was mad close. He's like one of those fighters where like, yo, he almost got a title shot, but then he never got it. But he did it. Quillan Salkilld, his run's been looking very good. Beat Oshel Juby. Beat Yanel. Beat Meerschaert with one of the best knockouts of the year. And then submitted Jamie Molarski. Man, Quillan Salkild's been on a very impressive run. I just don't see Beneil Dariush winning this fight. I just don't. Unless if Beneil Dariush lays on top of him, pause, for the whole entire fight, then that's the only way I'll see him winning this fight. Other than that, he's not winning this fight whatsoever. He's really not. And now, we got up here our main event of the evening. I know the co-main event prediction was very quick, but like, we all know who's going to win the fight. But now, we move up to the main event. One of the most violentest fights of the year. Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. You guys cannot, I'm not lying to you guys. This fight's going to be a banger. I don't care whoever tells you this is not going to be a good fight. Matter of fact, this is a real BMF fight right here. A fight, Jack and Carlos Prates. This is probably a BMF fight right here, guys. I'm very excited to see it. You got Carlos Prates, a violent guy, knocking out people left and right. Obviously, his fight with Ian Machado Gary didn't go as planned. Lost to beat Jeff Neal, Leon Edwards, most violentest. He's got very good knockout power. Jack was on a very impressive run as well. Beat Vasil Haviv, beat Kevin Holland, Gilbert Burns, Bilal Muhammad won the belt by it, and then lost to Islam. A lot of you guys are saying, I'm pretty sure majority of people who think Carlos Prates are going to win are trying to say that because of Jack Della Maddalena's win over Islam Makhachev. Lost over Islam Makhachev. Guys, be so for real. We all knew what was going to happen in that fight. But mind you, he survived the whole fight with him. And Carlos Prates does not have a similar style to him. So what do you mean? Carlos Prates, matter of fact, will get demolished, smoked by Islam Makhachev. He would. But this is going to be a violent fight. I do see this fight going the distance. It's going to be probably the best fight of the year. This is what's going to be the best fight of the year. And, this is like a real BMF fight. This is going to be a BMF fight. They're going to put on. They're going to stand and trade. Obviously, if this fight goes distance, that may favor Jack because Carlos Prates is knocking people out left and right. I don't even know if he's had a decision win in the UFC besides lost to Ian Machado Gary. But give me Jack Della Maddalena by decision. I believe his boxing was going to help him win this fight and pull it off by a split decision, guys. It's going to be an absolute war. But that will be the end of the video, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button. If you guys enjoy the content like this, hit that like, subscribe button, turn on notifications. Thank y'all for 84 subscribers. And I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.